there's an empty spot. But my car's up there. It's just like where I normally park, it's two spots down. Yeah, I'm pulled in so you see the front of it. Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, it's okay. Let me get up and look. I I don't know which cars are out there because I can't see, sitting in my chair, so I don't know which cars are still out there. But mine is, um, oh, let's see here now. Okay, everybody's gone except for, well, the lady that drives the white car that backs in, she's gone, and then I usually park next to her. But when I came back from the store, somebody else was parked there, and then the spot next to them, somebody else was parked there. So I had to park in the next spot because you see my black car. It's there's um what is it? There's a guy. There's a car that's backed in. It's gray in color. Where there's like the red car, and then there's a car that's backed in beside it, and then I'm beside that car that's backed in. So, and I'm not going to go out there and move it. You know, it'll just be right where it is until I leave tomorrow morning. So I ain't going to put my shoes and socks and stuff on just to go out there, move my car, two spots, and then come back in. I'll just, it'll be right where it is until I leave tomorrow morning and go to work. So, but it's there. It's there. No, I left my car, I went to the grocery store and I just left my car up there at the store. No, it's up there. My car's sitting out there. It's just not where I normally park at. Do I? Yep. Yeah, I do that. I don't do it on my chin, but I take my tweezers and and then every now and then I'll do the hairs that are growing on my ears and stuff. Yeah, yeah. Well, eventually not get any more growing back because when you pull them out, you're pulling the root and everything out, and then they won't grow back in that spot. So eventually you'll have gotten them, everything, and they won't sometime down the road they just won't you won't be getting anymore because when you pull them out, you pull the root and everything out. So uh-huh. You're trying to be sneaky. No, honey. Yeah, you can record all you want. Someone's whistling at you. Someone's whistling at you. You better answer it. Now, is that your music or somebody else's? I need to, I need to, I need to put my camera back here behind me so it can be recording you as I'm watching you. But then that can't do that because you know, you know, I can't do that. So you know, it'd be nice if I could hang my camera up there behind me, and that way, see the top of my bald head, but it would see you as you're doing that. And go, but then you are sitting there, as you are. So that would be recording you also. Yeah, yeah, yeah. If I move the camera over there, but the camera's fine right where it is. So now, did you even look at the camera last night when it was dark? You couldn't really see anything. No, yeah, because when it's dark out, you can't see anything. You just can't. That's why like tomorrow morning I start at 6 o'clock. So, I won't move the camera to the window because when I leave, it'll be starting to get daylight, but still be dark enough that it'll be in black and white. So you really ain't going to see anything. So that's why, I won't move the camera tomorrow morning because, and that's why, you said, about putting the camera in the window and leaving it there. And I didn't know, I thought you meant just to leave it there, all the time. Because see, you can turn it and you can see me without me even moving the camera out of the window. And then, then you can turn it, to, see outside and stuff, when it's daylight. And so I didn't know, if you wanted it there all the time or, and you said, oh no, just for one night. I just want to see it, at nighttime for once. Well, you really can't see anything when it gets dark out. You can see like when a car goes up and down the road or whatever. You can see headlights and stuff, but that's really all you can see. So that yeah, I can, you know, like in the evening and stuff, like it was in the window last night, and when I close my curtains, when I shut my blinds and close my curtain, you can't see in anyway. Even if it's hanging in the window, you wouldn't be able to see me anyway. So, because I kept, yeah, when it becomes nighttime, I will transfer it back into here so that you can see me, and that way you can record me in the mornings and stuff or whatever. And yeah, back to normal. But then why are you with me for? I'm not normal. I'm an oddball. That, the cat get a rat or something? Yeah, might have been fighting with a rat. It might have been. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Could have been. Yeah, it actually it might have been. That might be what the cat was doing was having a having a big old fight with a rat. Yeah, that could be what it was. But the cat was out there and and got a hold of a rat and was just going crazy. Yeah, the rat's history. Yeah, his history. It's gone. It's went completely. Yep, they're messing you again. Beep 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 beep. Is that yours? Oh, next door. Somebody's trying to get your attention. Well, tell them to stop it. See, now that I went and bought, you know, some milk and yogurt and cottage cheese and and some more rice and stuff, and I will. So I'm going to take and start writing. As of today, I'm going to start writing down what I eat and how much it is and how much calcium it is and actually I've got a I'll show it to you. Let me go get it. I've got a scale that I can weigh up my food and stuff. See, I've got a scale here. Let me see which is okay. Um, I can turn it on and I can see I can do ounces. There's like a display, display right there. I can do ounces. Um, I can do grams. I can do milliliters, like liquid and stuff. I can do it, set it for um, milliliters, pounds, which would be like pounds and ounces, like 1 pound, 2 ounces, or whatever. And so, like I've got it right now, it's on ounces. So, I can just set it on a flat surface, and I can put something, like a cup or whatever on it, and then I can pour stuff into it, like, like if I want to eat a certain amount of rice or something, I can pour in, how much, like, you know, how much, let's say, a cup of rice would weigh, and I can mark that down, like, okay, I cooked, a cup of rice, which is so many ounces or whatever and stuff. So I can, everything that, and I've had this scale for years. I periodically got to put it like a new battery in it, but, I can weigh everything that I eat, you know, stuff that I cook like rice or, or, I don't need to weigh like yogurts and stuff up because, one contain, just 1 cup like that is 1 serving. And so I just mark down how much it is. Like, okay, I ate one yogurt, and it was 120 milligrams of calcium, and because that's mainly what the doctor wants me to keep track of is how much calcium I'm eating, each day and stuff. So, so that's primarily what I'll be, um, that's primarily what I'll be tracking is the calcium that I'm eating. Like whatever it is, like if I eat like I've got some Colby cheese and I can slice it off because it'll tell me like how how big like one serving of the cheese is, and I can slice it off and put it on my scale until it gets however many ounces equals one serving, and then just okay, I ate one serving of this cheese, and this is how much calcium was in that one serving of cheese. And when I do some of my milk, I can I can put my cup on the scale and pour milk into it, and to get so many ounces, and okay, this is how many ounces of milk I drank, and so everything I eat and drink, I can just weigh it up on the scales. So then I just write everything down. Then when I see her in September, I'll give her all the pages that I wrote down of everything I ate. I mean, I won't be writing down like if I buy like a pizza or whatever and I cook it in the oven like a frozen pizza, you know, because well there's calcium in that too because like the cheese that's on the pizza has calcium in it, and so I just keep track of everything and just give it to her and say, okay, this is what I ate, from such and such a date, and I'll mark down each day what the date is that I ate whatever I ate and stuff. So just give her all of that information. Did you get them all, hun? Did you get them all? Yeah. So you can see better. Yeah. You're funny. I'm batting my eyes at you. Yeah, I do that too. I get some right at the very end that grow out a little bit, longer than the others, and I'll take and yank them out. Yeah, because I'll take my tweezers and I'll go into the bathroom, the mirror, and I can see it, and then I can grab a hold of one that's right at the very end and stuff, and I can grab a hold of it and pull it out, like when right at the very end of it and stuff. I get a straggler every now and then that gets over there, and so I pluck them out. Yeah, all gone. Oh, there's a lot of them. Okay. You'll get them. I'm gonna put my scale back over there where I had it set. What the who? Just, just real fast, yank it. Just grab it real fast. I love that face. I can't. That face. It's gone. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Well, well, hon, when I'm with you, do you really think it's going to matter to me if they're there? Do you really think it's going to matter to me? Huh? Yeah, I mean, I totally understand that. Yeah, I do. For you, yeah, I mean, you want to remove them and stuff. I understand. But for me, like we've talked before, you know, what there is not bothering me a bit. Mm. Whether it's, whether it's upstairs or downstairs, it don't bother me. See, I can say certain things, and you know what I'm saying, talking about, without me being, you know, going into detail, because I know you're recording, and I don't want to, say something I shouldn't. Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm talking about, upstairs and downstairs. Yeah, upstairs and downstairs. Yep. It don't matter to me. It's fine with me. Yep. It's just like, you know, the cameras can't see, what you're doing, and I enjoyed what you were just now doing. You know, I don't mind it at all. Matter of fact, I like it. So, that's between you and I. Yeah, I could take and turn. I could pick my thing up and turn it around, so you would be recording yourself. Doing that. But I ain't going to do that. That way, the camera. I see what you're doing, but the camera can't see what you're doing. So it's a yeah, yeah, yeah. Right. Well, we'll see what we can do about that when I get there. Yeah. Right. Well, you know, what you're doing is perfectly fine. I mean, I totally understand it and everything, but just don't change anything else, okay? If you know what I mean. I mean, doing what you're doing there, and stuff, I totally understand that. I do. Just don't change upstairs and downstairs. Yeah. Yep. That's upstairs and that's downstairs. Yep. So yeah, don't change none of that. Nope, it's perfectly fine, just the way it is. Yep. And hon, I love you more. I love you for more than just that. I mean, I love you for who you are. You're welcome, sweetheart. Yeah, I mean, I like what's there, but that's only part of what I love about you. I mean, there's so much more that I love about you. So much more. It's your caring, your support, your giving, you know, your generosity, just everything. Your beauty, your beauty. I love it, and I do. I love your beauty. You are very, very beautiful. Thank you, sweetheart. And you are my wife forever. Even though we're a long ways apart right now, in our hearts, we're husband and wife. You're my queen. You're my princess. Mwah, mwah. I love you. I really do, honey. So, so much. And I mean, we have fun, we goof around and stuff, but I never ever want you to doubt how much I love you. Never ever doubt that. And there may be times that we have our disagreements, or or this about this, that, whatever, but everything works out in the end. I'll let you get back to what you were doing. I'll just sit here and watch you. Okay, I'm going to sleep now. Good night. I knew that would get your attention. Okay, bye. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll turn the phone off. Uh, I'm gonna leave the camera where it is. I'm gonna shut the curtain so you won't be able to see me. Bah, I'm joking, hon. Don't don't get that don't get that look on your face. I'm kidding. No, I was just scratching it. There's nothing wrong with it. I was just had an itch, and I just used the edge of my finger rather than than where my fingernail is. I don't want to do that, so I just rub it with the edge of my finger, just an itch. Yes. Huh? It's hard. Yeah. I see. It's just like when I have the mirror above my sink, and, in the CR and stuff, and then of course on the back of my door of the CR, I have a mirror, and what I can do is I can hang that. I can take it off the back of the door and hang it on the wall behind the door, and that way I can actually see. I can look in the mirror in front of me and see, the behind me and stuff. So, because actually that mirror hanging on the back of the door in there, that was my mom's. It's a big, it's a big oval mirror, and it was my mom's. Yeah, that was my mom's mirror. Yeah, huh? Yeah, the mirror that hang on the back of the CR door. Yeah, that was my mom's and stuff. It was one of the things that I've got that was hers. So other than that, I got one other thing, and my brother Ken had it because mom gave it to him. And of course, then when I went down to Georgia after he had passed away, when I went down there to clean everything out and stuff, I brought it back with me. My mom had uh, a pull stick that was made for her, and it's in a case, and because there's you open up the case and it's in two parts, and you like screw the two parts together, and it's just a regular pull stick for shooting pool with. And she had given it to Ken, and then of course when I went down there to clean stuff out of his house, after he had passed away, that was one of the things that I brought back with me because I just didn't want to leave it for whoever. I mean, I don't know if I'll ever use it, but I have it. Yeah, it's a case. It's about 3 feet long, and when you undo the latch and open it up, and there's two pieces in there, you screw them together, and it makes a pool stick, for shooting pool with, and it was specially made for my mom because she ordered it, and she had it specially made for because it's balanced and everything, and it's the weight that she wanted for when she shot pool and stuff. And so, it was made especially for her for, the weight of it and everything. Oh, I'll get it. It's in my closet. Hang on. I'll go get it. It's in my closet back here behind me. Ah. Mm. Hey, I know you. Where have I seen you at before? I know I've seen you around somewhere. I can't place it, but I know I've seen you somewhere before. Ah, yep. See, this is it. See, it starts here and goes all the way over to there. So it's about 3 feet long, and see, it has which way does it go? See, it has two latches on it. Here's one, and here's the other one, and then it opens up, and this is one part of it. It was specially made for my mom. So I mean, she can shorten it. She can shorten it too because it'll unscrew right here, and then it also unscrews right here. So you got this small section, then you have this section, here, and then you got a section that goes from there to here, and see there, the end of it. So this other part, this part here, see that screws in to there, and then you got a pull stick that goes from here all the way down, all the way down. And see, here's where you join the two parts together, and then it goes from here down to here, and this is the part where you shoot, to hit the balls and stuff, on the pool table. So it was specially made for my mom. It's balanced. It was balanced for her, but she could shorten it. Like she could take, unscrew this and take this section out that goes from here to here. She could take this section out and screw this small section into here, so she could make it shorter if she wanted to. So it was specially made for her, and the balance and everything was what she wanted. So when she's shooting pool and stuff on the table, it's balanced so that just for her and stuff. It was, but I unscrew it, and then this part goes back in here, and of course she's even got like the tip. Not what's the other end. It's like the tip here. This is where what you shoot against. The balls and stuff. She's got extra tips, and stuff that go, that can be replaced. They screw in. See, this unscrews, and these are, they can be screwed in and stuff. It's extra tips and stuff. And of course, then like this is, yeah, for shooting pool. And then like this is a chalk that she had, in there. And this is for like, chalking up the end of it and stuff, so when she shoot, pool and stuff. Yep. So she's got, there's there's the you know the chalk, and then these things that the tips that screw into it. She's actually got four. There's four extra tips, you know, for that she can use for I'll go down in there. These tips go down in here, and this goes back in this side over here. Why is it not going in there? Oh, I know, right there, yep. And then, yep. And so, yep, this was my mom, and she gave it to Ken. And then, like I said, when I was down there yep, when I was down there to clean, the stuff out of Ken's house where he lived at down in Georgia after he passed away, I made sure that I brought this with me because it was our mom's, and she had given it to him because he liked to play pool, and in her later years, she wasn't playing pool anymore, so she just gave it to him, and so I figured, well, I'll just bring it up here. It just sits in my closet, and he passed away in 20. He passed away in 2021, I think it was. So he's been dead for what 2021, 20. So he's been gone now for 5 years. Well, it'll be 5 years in September because it was in September when he passed away and stuff down there and stuff here, years ago. So it's coming up on 5 years coming this September. So um, I have to I have to look. I got a box in my closet. I'll show you. Let me go get it. I'll put this back and get something else I'm going to show you. Now, where's it at? All right, where'd it go? Yep. I have to get my little steps to find it. Oh, here it is. I have a little box that I got. It was from when I lived in Michigan. Um, my next door neighbor Fred gave it to me, and see, it's just a little box, and it has a little, it has like a little latch on the front to keep it closed, and on the inside of it, all I keep in here is, you know, stuff from, people passing away. Like I have one here that's, well, it's the obituary that was in the newspaper about my mom, and then I've got this one here is Jessie Klein. This was my grandma. It was her brother, one of her two brothers, Jesse Klein. So, I have that. And I have, this one is, uh, this was about, this was Robert's Funeral Home in Dayton, Ohio. And it was about Vicki L. Marshall. It was a sister that died at birth that was that would have been my sister, but she died at birth, many, many years ago. Because the date on this is, I don't know if it's got a date on it or not. Let's see, Lincoln Street, Vicki L. Marshall, deceased. Yeah, August 1st, 1958. So this was this was somebody, a sister that I did not know I had, but she died at birth. It was only 3 years after I was born. I was born in 55, and this was dated August 1st, 1958. So it's somebody, that, it was a sister that I didn't know I, had. And let's see, this is just, where the grave sites of certain places, people are marked at. This is memories And Sticks with Love. Oh, this is Dorothea Hinkle. This was when I lived at the children's home here in Wooster. It was Dennis and Dorothea Bowers, but then they got divorced, and Dorothea got remarried, and this was, you know, uh, her married name was Dorothea Hinkle, and because I was a pallbearer at her, because I moved, she passed away on May 31st, 2017, and I moved down here the very next day, June 1st of 2017. So she passed away the day before I moved from Michigan down here. And so I was a pallbearer at her funeral and stuff. And let's see here now. We got, this is the guy she was married to at the children's home when I lived there, Dennis Bowers. Um, he passed away on April 3rd, 2019. So, and Dennis and Dorothea were very, very important to me because, I lived almost 4 years at that children's home that they were the house parents of when I moved there. And let's see, this is just another, it's a map of a cemetery of where a certain, grave is located at and stuff. So that's another one. This was a job that I had in Michigan. There was a truck driver that would deliver our crates to the business where I worked at Charles River Lab, where they raised mice and rats for medical research. And a driver that would deliver our crates to us every week that we shipped the animals out in. Um, this was the obituary for him. His name was James James William. Uh, I forget his last name. Well, he passed away in 2002. So I was still working at Charles River Lab when he passed away, and I drove down to Kentucky where he was from, and I found the church that, had the service and stuff, his funeral and everything at, and I got the obituary from the church down there in Kentucky. And this was the one for my brother in Georgia. This was his wife, uh, Kathy. Um, she was born in 1954 and she died in 2011. So this is the obituary from the newspaper down in Georgia where they lived and stuff of her, passing and stuff. And let's see, that's all it's in this box is, obituaries and stuff of family and friends and stuff that I've known, and stuff. This was gotta get my magnifying glass. It's so small I can't read it. This was the death certificate from my brother, Georgia death certificate. So he actual date of death 9/20/21. So September 20th of 2021. I knew it was in September of 2021, but because I actually had to go to the funeral home and sign the official, the official death certificate so that they could get it processed, and I actually had to sign his death certificate on my birthday because I was down there, on my birthday, which was September 23rd. So he passed away 2 days before I actually had to go to the funeral home to sign the death certificates. So, and I actually signed it on my birthday of his death and stuff. So that's from my brother. And let's see what else I got here. This was Oh, this is my brother in Springfield, Ohio, Larry David Moen. This was, my brother in Springfield. That you know that that this is from the funeral home where they had the service for him because he passed to um, date and place of death April 12th, 2024. So he it's just a little over 2 years ago that he passed away. So that was from my brother, Georgia. And this was from my brother Ken. This is the obituary that was in the paper for Ken Marshall, July 17th, 1957 through September 20th, 2021. So he was 64 when he passed away. Mr. Kenneth Ken Wayne Marshall, 64 of Nashville, passed away. This is the obituary that was in the newspaper for him. And let's see what else. Oh yeah, this was where I lived in Michigan. This Joyce Fink, she was my landlord uh, where I lived at in Michigan, and this was my landlord, Joyce Fink. This was her obituary that she passed away. Actually, I was down here when she passed away. Let me see if I can find it on there. Uh, yeah, she passed away on November 8th, 2021. So I was down here because I moved back from Michigan back down here in June of 2017. So she passed away, but she was my landlord when I lived in Michigan. So that's hers. And this one here, I think it's my mom. Yep, City of Kalamazoo, where she lived up in Michigan. And she's birthday was September 11th, and date of death was November 3rd, 2013. So she's been gone 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. So she's been dead for 13 years now. She passed away in November of 2013, and it's 2026 now. So she's been gone for 13 years. Well, come November of this year will be 13 years. But and then I have this was a guy Max Max Green, the church that I used to go to here in Wooster way back, when I first lived here before. Um, I knew Max. I knew Max and his brother Chuck and their parents, Carl and Nancy Green. So I knew them all real well. And let's see, what else have I got here? This is uh, no, this one is from my grandma, which was my mom's mom, Velma Curry. So this is the one for her. This is the obituary that was in the paper for her. And see, my mom, she had it laminated, in plastic and stuff. So it's real nice and stuff. So this was, and my grandma passed away. She passed away in 1993. I know that. Oh, yep. She passed away at 10:30 p.m. on Monday, May 17th, 1993. She was at at the Springfield Community Hospital when she passed away because I was there, Mom was there, and my brother Larry that lived in Springfield, he was there also when Grandma passed away at the hospital. And that's all I got. That's it. It's gonna be, but it's you know obituaries and death certificates from family members. The only thing I don't have is anything from my brother Larry that lived in Indiana. I don't have anything that was of from his passing, because his wife, Lisa, she never sent me, a death certificate. But like when mom passed away, I made sure they got a death certificate. And when Chin passed away, I made sure they got a death certificate of him. And same thing with Larry in Springfield. With Larry and Larry were full brothers. So I made sure that that they all that Lisa and Larry got death certificates for mom and Ken and and Larry in Springfield. But but I never got anything from Lisa about my brother when he passed away in Indiana. So, but that's all I keep in this box. Is just, and this is an old. It was my neighbor Fred. It was something he had, and he gave it to me. And it's an old cigar box, is what it is. Because see, this is the label that's um, this is the label that's on the inside of the lid and stuff. It's advertising like whatever type of cigar it was and stuff that that was in here. Um, Dominican Republic handmade. So it was handmade cigars from the Dominican Republic. So, but yeah, he gave me this, and so that's all I keep in it is just you know obituaries and death certificates, and stuff from newspapers about family and friends, that passed away and stuff like that. So that's that's what I keep in that box. And of course, in my safe, I have my dad, Joe Marshall. I have his death certificate. I have his discharge papers from when he was discharged from the army. I have all that in my safe. So, so that's it. I know you're bored. You're tired of listening to me. I'm just rambling on and on and on. Huh? You what? Cook rice? You want me to cook some rice right now? Or that's what you're going to do? Or what? I love you too. Are you going to go to bed? You going to go to sleep? Are you going to disappear on me? Okay, bye. I'm going to shut the phone off. Are you going to, what? You going to go to sleep now? You going to try to sleep? Okay, hon. Well, like I said, I can't go get plasma because when I was outside, earlier, in the when the sun was out, it's not out now. It's gotten cloudy, but when I was out, I looked at my arms and I could see the yellow yet. So I figured, well, there ain't no sense in me even trying to go get plasma because I can drive to 40 minutes one way and they'll say, nope, can't give, can't donate. So I figured, well, I ain't even going to waste my time and gas to drive all the way up there. So hopefully, hopefully they'll be clear so that I can, go Monday. You're welcome, sweetheart. I enjoy sharing stuff with you. I mean, I do. You share with me, whether it's, yeah, you don't have pictures and stuff, you lost, basically all your pictures and stuff. But you share stories with me and stuff, and you know, I share with you. I mean, we will always share, you know, our life with each other. Past life, present life, future life. You know, we will always share with each other. We just, just what we do. I enjoy sharing with you. And the lady that drives that white car that backs in, I just seen her walk around the building up there, so she's getting ready to. She's walking up there to get in her car right now. It's a black lady. And so she's getting ready to leave and go somewhere. And the car she drives, that car is really nice because when she when she backs in and then when she shuts the shuts it off, her side view mirrors on each side of the car and stuff, they fold in, so they're not sticking out. They actually fold in. And so yeah, it's a real nice car. It's really nice. Yeah, her car is really nice, and she has a when she like like on really hot days, like here in the next 4 or 5 days, it's supposed to be like anywhere from like 78, 79 degrees up until like like I think 4 days from now it's supposed to be up to like 95 degrees as the high. So between like today and and for like the next week, it's supposed to be in the upper 70s, close to 80, and into the 90s. So we're going to have some really hot days here in the next week. I mean, we're going to be getting temperatures that you have all the time there in the next week. That's what we're going to be having here is very hot, muggy, sticky days. So when I get home from work, I mean, my apartment, I know because I'll have my fan turned off and everything. I turn everything off when I go to work. But tomorrow, when I get home from work, I know it's going to be muggy and hot in here, and I'll turn my air on. I'll turn the air conditioner on and cool it down because, like right now, it's 80 degrees inside my apartment right now, and um, it's the actual temperature